So hello everybody, I am the Alchemist, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some of my secrets that I found in Jedi Fallen Order. So the first thing that I noticed is that you can actually find the meditation rooms. Now this is what it looks like normally, like with all your upgrades and what you've done and what you haven't done yet. If you were to hit triangle and zoom forward, you can actually see that there's 3 planets in the background, which you normally can't. So in the Tomb of Kashyyyk, where the tomb challenges are, if you were to use the flying glitch, you would see that you could actually see and walk around the meditation circle and see what it looks like. And another thing you guys will notice is that it's a lot bigger than it looks, and because it's a lot bigger than it looks, there's some stuff that's hiding. So you guys noticed earlier that there was color, and because there was color, it actually reflects what the map color is. I'll show you guys later that you can also find it on Kashyyyk. Now what's funny is they show this guy, right? But they don't show you this in the game, but this is actually the guy who murders all of the Zepho. Based on what it's depicting, like this guy's flying up. He's actually one of the Zepho sages, and it's interesting because he's sitting there holding an astrium in his hand, really killing everybody in his sight. So that's kind of what happened. Now the planets in the background, this is what you actually could see, is that they all behave differently. So when you go on this one, you can kind of get in the fall animation for as long as you want until you decide to go off, but you can't move around too much because it will push you off just like that. They all kind of have this problem. They all do that. It's kind of weird that they would even have the physics wouldn't just apply normally, but again, I guess that's how it was programmed. And again, when you go a certain distance, you can actually see the original color, which is red, because I'm on the planet Dathomir and the room challenge inside the tomb. But if you were to keep going, you actually would see that it would revert back to its original color, which is black and white. Or gray and white. So it all depends on kind of where you're standing. So if you were to be standing like further away, it'd be its normal color. But if you were to go to the side and closer to the planets, it would indeed be the orange color. Now when you go from above, this is the bird's eye view, so you can kind of see what this all looks like, which is really fascinating to me. I like that. I think it looks cool. I get a kick out of things like this. Moving on. In Fortress Inquisitor, I happened to notice that there was like this little mist coming up in the air, as you see right now. And you can actually see an astrium floating in the air, and when it's floating, it looks as if it is destroying the entire fortress. So, and that itself, I think, is really cool. And if you were to stand on top of Vader's head, you'll notice that you just sort of float there. It's kind of weird because the physics don't add up compared to other things. But if you were to go in at an angle, you'd float in and out of existence and shoot you straight up in the air. So make with this what you will, but that's kind of trippy if you ask me. Wow. And above the stage, there's an invisible platform you can stand on, so I found that to be interesting as well. I was then wondering if there was anything inside of here, and there wasn't. But it was still cool to see. I wonder if the astrium destroyed all of Fortress Inquisitor. But in the story, Seer does that, so it just looks like the astrium's doing it based on what they're showing here. I almost wonder if it was a scrapped story idea. In the challenge map Alumna, you can actually see the mantis in the background. I'm not sure if it's the same color as the one in the game, but I'll have to check that. This cool little misty effect is in the background, and you can actually see the little light particles that create the effect. Now, there are 2 AT-ATs that you can actually stand on, so that's cool. And I think it's kind of funny because you kind of go halfway through, and I wish that there's more of this, but they're just kind of frozen, just little scenery to look at. And now when I was flying up, I actually caused an probe droid to fly way higher than it was intended, so it actually started fighting me way out of bounds, which was a spectacle in itself. Then when I tried to actually hit him with my lightsaber, I noticed that the ground beneath me was solid, so that was kind of cool, until I moved a little bit and fell. In the challenge room, Tomb of Miktrol. If you were to go to the top of the Zepho Stadium and let yourself fall, you would see that you'll just float by yourself. I'm not actually doing anything. This is what the game's doing itself. And when you respawn, you'll actually be past that invisible barrier that you normally can't get in. So this is me when I noticed it, so I said, okay, let me go ahead and try this again. So I went and flew all the way back to the top, tried it again, and that's what you're seeing right now. And when I got to the death plane and died, when I respawned, I walked forward, and I was actually able to bypass that invisible wall because I don't think it had loaded yet, and I think that's what allowed me to do this. But what's kind of funny is if you actually can walk back into bounds, so that's kind of cool. In the trading challenge mode, Kashyyyk, if you were to actually fly to the top of that tree that's right behind you as you load into this map, if you were to just fall straight down into this circle right here, that is where the meditation point spawn location is. This is actually where you get teleported when you do that. And here's what it looks like in Kashyyyk. Now in Kashyyyk it's a lot bigger and there's a lot more room. So I guess maps vary the size. It could be one length or it could be the other. And again, the planets, they all do the same thing. All behave the same way, so that's what you're seeing here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys all in the next episode.